Hey, if you're listening to this at night, pause for a second, walk to your front door, press your ear against the wood, listen, nothing good, keep it that way. Because tonight's story is about apartment 4B, 4th floor, the crumbling red brick walk-up on the corner of 7th and Maple, the one with the rusted fire escape that no one ever uses, the one where the hallway smells like mildew and old newspapers, the one that still has a for rent sign taped to the lobby window, even though no one has answered the ad in 6 months. Let me take you back to September 2023. Sarah Nguyen, 24, a grad student at the State University. Double major in psychology and criminology. Strata student, part-time barista, zero social media presence. She needed a place fast. Her previous roommate had bailed, and the dorms were full. Apartment 4B was listed on Craigslist for $600 a month, utilities included. In this city, that's not a deal, that's a trap. Sarah met the landlord, Mr. Kowalski, in the lobby at dusk. 70-something, hunched shoulders, nicotine-stained fingers. He smelled like mothballs and cheap bourbon. He handed her the key on a bent paperclip and muttered the warning only once. Whatever you hear at 3:33 a.m., do not open the door, not for anyone, not even if they say your name. Sarah rolled her eyes. She was writing her thesis on urban legends and mass hysteria. Ghost stories were data points, nothing more. She laughed, signed the lease, and moved in that same night with 2 duffel bags and a box of instant ramen. Night 1 was a Thursday. Sarah stayed up until 2 a.m. cramming for mid. The apartment was smaller than the photos, peeling floral wallpaper, a single window facing a brick wall, a radiator that hissed like an angry cat. She fell asleep on the couch, still wearing her hoodie. 3:33 a.m. Knock, knock, knock. 3 measured knocks, perfectly spaced, like someone counting heartbeats. Sarah jolted awake. The room was pitch black except for the red glow of her laptop charger. She stumbled to the door, bare feet cold on the linoleum, pressed her eye to the peephole. The hallway stretched empty under buzzing fluorescent light. The exit sign at the far end flickered off on off like it was breathing. No one, nothing, just the faint smell of wet concrete seeping under the door. She laughed at herself, heart racing for no reason. Went back to the couch, told herself it was the radiator, or the pipes, or the neighbors. Night 2 was a Friday. Sarah invited her study buddy Javier over for pizza and flashcards. He left at 11 p.m. She triple-checked the deadbolt, set her phone alarm for 3:30 a.m. just to prove that knocks were nothing. 3:33 a.m. Knock, knock, knock. Same rhythm, but this time a voice, small, fragile, soaked in tears. It's so cold out here. Please, miss, let me in. Sarah froze. The voice sounded 8 years old, maybe 9. She grabbed her phone, hit record, and tiptoed to the door. Peephole again. Empty hallway, but the doorknob jiggled. Not a polite turn, a violent rattle like someone small was throwing their whole weight against it. She called building security. Officer Ramirez showed up 10 minutes later, flashlight in hand. They reviewed the CCTV together on his tablet. Timestamp: 3 hours, 33 minutes and 12 seconds a.m. The hallway camera showed nothing, no child, no shadow, but at 3 hours, 33 minutes and 14 seconds. The lens glitched, static snow, then a single frame of a red shoe in the bottom corner, gone in a blink. Ramirez shrugged. Old wiring. Happens all the time. He left. Sarah didn't sleep. Night 3 was a Saturday. Sarah packed an overnight bag. She texted Javier, crashing at your place. 4B is freaking me out. But Javier was at a concert, no reply. She fell asleep on the floor, back against the door, fully dressed, keys in her hand. 3:33 a.m. Silence, no knocks. Sarah exhaled, maybe it was over. 3:34 a.m. The door creaked open on its own. The deadbolt was still locked. The chain was still latched, but the door swung inward 6 inches. Slow as a sigh. Cold air rushed in, carrying the smell of burnt plastic and rain. On the kitchen table, 10 feet away, sat one red child's shoe, soaking wet, dripping onto the wood. Size 11 Velcro straps, a tiny handprint smeared on the toe, as if someone had tried to put it on and given up. Sarah screamed. She ran into the hallway, barefoot, phone dead. Pounded on for C404 Dino. One answered. She slept in the stairwell until dawn, curled under the flickering exit sign. On Sunday morning, the police came, took statements, found no footprints in the hallway, no water trail from the shoe. The shoe itself, dry as bone by the time they bagged it. Sarah moved out that afternoon, left the key on the counter, never went back for her deposit. 2 weeks later, a Reddit user posted in the paranormal subreddit, "Anyone know the history of the building on 7th and Maple?" Mr. Kowalski, as the same landlord, replied from a throwaway account. He deleted it an hour later, but screenshots live forever. The post read, 1998. Apartment 4B, family of 3 mom, dad, little boy named Eli. Dad was a welder, left a space heater plugged in. Fire started in the bedroom at 3:27 a.m. Smoke detectors failed, cheap batteries. Mom grabbed Eli, ran to the balcony. Dad tried the door, the handle had melted shut. Mom jumped with Eli in her arms. For stories, Eli was wearing red light-up sneakers. One came off on the way down. They found it on the sidewalk, the other was never recovered. Ever since, tenants hear the knock. Always 3. Always 3:33. Always a child asking to be let in. The shoe shows up when someone forgets to lock the door or when they laugh at the warning. I stopped renting for B years ago, but the sign stays up. Some doors need to stay closed. What happened after? Sarah transferred schools, moved 3 states away. She still flinches at 3:33 on any clock. Javier swears he saw a red shoe in his back seat the night of the concert. He threw it out on the highway. It was gone the next morning. The building on 7th and Maple. It's still standing. Apartment 4B. It's still listed. The rent dropped to $400. The Craigslist ad now reads, quiet building. Perfect for students. No pets, no children. Apartment 4B is fictional, but the knock is real. Check your door, check your clock, and whatever you do at 3:33 a.m. do not answer. I found my shoe. Can I come in now? They say Westgate Towers has 12 floors. Everyone who lives there knows it. Everyone who visits knows it. But every single tenant at some point has seen the elevators button for floor 13 light up. It only happens at one specific time, 2:47 a.m., and it only happens when you're riding alone. Our story starts with Leela Chen. She's 29, just moved into apartment 12C on a Tuesday. Westgate is one of those trendy new luxury lofts converted from an old building, in this case, an old hospital. You can probably see where this is going. Back in the day, the 13th floor was the psychiatric ward. The story goes that in 1976 there was a terrible gas leak. 14 people died. The entire floor was bricked shut, sealed off from the rest of the world, and officially erased from the building's plans. Lila steps into the elevator for the first time. The panel is old brass, the mirror beside it is cracked, and there's this weird mechanical flip clock integrated into the wall, ticking away the seconds. She presses the button for her floor, number 12, but as her finger pulls away, a different button glows with a sickly red light, 13. Before she can react, the heavy doors slide shut. The elevator begins to ascend. Ding. The doors open. This is not the chic, modern hallway of the 12th floor. The walls are a nauseating mint green, the kind you only see in old institutions. A single fluorescent light buzzes and flickers overhead, casting long, dancing shadows. Down the hall, an abandoned gurney sits with one wheel spinning slowly. Her eyes are drawn to a door, slightly ajar. The number on it reads 1313. Hesitantly, she pushes it open. Inside is a scene straight from a nightmare. A single hospital bed with leather restraints dangling from the sides, and on the floor, a child's drawing. It shows a group of stick figures, but one of them has no face. Scrawled underneath in messy, childish handwriting are 4 words. Play with us, Leela. Suddenly, the elevator doors behind her slam shut with a deafening bang. She spins around, her heart pounding, but there's no elevator. Just a solid blank wall where the doors had been moments before. She's trapped now. This is where I come in. My name is Marcus, and I work building security. I was the one watching the monitors that night. My screen for the main elevator camera, which should have shown Leela getting off at the 12th floor, was instead showing a live feed of floor 13. A floor that, according to every blueprint and city record, doesn't exist. I could see Leela on the monitor, her phone's flashlight beam shaking wildly as she frantically looked around. I watched as she raised her phone to her ear and called out, "Hello." The audio feed was crystal clear. Her own voice echoed back, but it was delayed by 3 full seconds. And then, another voice joined it, a child's voice, mocking her own word. "Hello." I knew something was terribly wrong. I ran to the main breaker and killed the power to the elevator, hoping to reset it. The car dropped hard, all the way to the basement level. I rushed down, pried the doors open, expecting to find her inside, but the elevator was completely empty, except for one small object that rolled out from the back corner and came to a stop at my feet. A single, bright red crayon. The next night I couldn't shake what I'd seen. At 2:45 a.m. I decided I had to see for myself. I got into the same elevator alone. The air was cold, heavy. As the clock on the panel flipped to 2:47 a.m., it happened. The button for 13 lit up, then, impossibly, 14. I glanced at the cracked mirror next to the panel, and my blood ran cold. Reflected behind me were 4 children. They were pale, wearing old-fashioned hospital gowns, and where their eyes should have been, there were just dark, empty sockets. A whisper seemed to come from all around me, a chorus of chilling, young voices. Group therapy. Marcus. I slammed the emergency stop button over and over, but nothing happened. The elevator continued its ascent. Ding. The doors opened again to that same mint green hallway. This time the gurney wasn't empty. It was right in front of the doors, and sitting on it was Leela's small potted cactus from her apartment windowsill. Its sharp thorns were dripping a dark, thick liquid. I didn't hesitate. I turned and sprinted for the stairs, taking them 3 at a time, not stopping until I was back in the security office, heart hammering against my ribs. But the horror wasn't over. I looked at my bank of monitors, and they were all glitching, every single screen showing a different angle of floor 13. In the center screen, there was Lila. She was lying on the hospital bed, staring directly into the camera lens. Slowly, She lifted her own phone, and on its screen, I could see a live feed of my own security office, of me, watching her in real time. The next morning they found Leela. She was in the main stairwell, unconscious, curled up on the landing between the 12th floor and the roof, and clutched tightly in her hand was that same red crayon. When she finally woke up in the hospital, she was muttering the same phrase over and over. They just wanted to play elevator tag. Building management went into damage control. They brought in a crew that very day and replaced the entire elevator control panel. The button for 13 was gone, erased for good, but it didn't solve anything. The old mechanical flip clock is still there, and every single night, at exactly 2:47 a.m., you can hear it, a faint click-clack as it briefly shows the number 13 before flipping to the next minute. And if you listen closely, you can hear the faint sound of children's laughter echoing up from the elevator shaft. You know, rent for apartment 1 to C is only $550 a month now. It's the cheapest luxury loft in the entire city. People say the elevator still acts strange, that it sometimes hesitates. Stuck in the darkness between the 12th floor and the roof, the tenants have a warning for new residents. When that happens, whatever you do, don't look up. They're waiting for you up there. They've given the game a name. It's called Press 13. And vanish. According to the official records, floor 13 was sealed and the elevator shaft ends at the 12th floor. So whatever rides with you in that car, well, maybe it's better to just take the stairs. If you're brave enough to watch this late at night, comment I counted just to make sure you're still here. And if you've ever had a weird elevator experience, comment 13. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more strange tales. Sleep well.